when the family unit is overrun, when the structure is undone by some new concoction. Now I walk softly and carry a big stick, original gorilla in the midst.
Welcome back to the Franchise Podcast. I'm Joe Arrigo. With me is my brother TQ.
Yeah, we in the building once again, ladies and gents. How are y'all doing today?
Man, that Kanye and Drake concert was lit.
Yeah. Yo, that was good. That was absolutely a good job. And I was glad to see them do that together too, man.
Man, like, I tweeted out that during the concert that good music is just good for the soul.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you know what? I like production value. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about Ye is that, like, he's going to put on a show. It's going to be bells and whistles. Like, yo, the Coliseum looked like another planet or something. Like,
I never seen it look like that.
That was crazy. I was sitting there and I'm imagining, like, you know, you always, like, see it if you're flying into L.A. off in the distance. I wonder what that looked like from the sky last night.
The crazy lights and then, like, the
smoke and all that. It was crazy. Like they was on another planet, man. It was tight.
That's like the second or third time in this year that I felt good about music. I think one of the other times, two of the other times was the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind and Fire versus.
Oh yeah. That was good.
And then the Locks versus Dipsets.
That was good. That was good too. I still say 40 and short. What was that?
That's 2020.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. 2021. That was the.
Yeah, it was tight, man. It was tight. I like the fact that, like, I like to hear some real rapping. You know what I'm saying? If you're on stage out of damn breath, then be out of damn breath. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to hear the struggle, bro. Like, I don't want to hear people rapping over their music, like, or rapping over their voice. Like, that's not the way. And, you know, we see a lot of that these days. Them guys kept it like it's supposed to be last night. It was fly. I loved it.
It was great to see the Coliseum like that, packed to the gills.
Yacked, man. Which
leads me to ask, what the hell was wrong with UNLV basketball playing at Mandalay Bay Event Center? They said 637 people.
No way. No way.
This is UNLV basketball, man. This is the Runnin Rebels, the squad that had Larry Johnson, Greg Anthony, Stacey Augmon, Anderson Hunt, Tyrone Nesby, Fabulous Freddie Banks, Reggie Theus, the Tark, the Shark, Jerry Tarkanian. Like, we're talking about a legendary. And like that Larry Johnson team, that 89, 90, and 90, 91 team, that's the best team in college basketball history. I don't care what anybody says.
Agreed.
And 637 people, allegedly.
Bro, yeah, stop. All right.
I said allegedly.
Stop. I was talking to our UNLV guy, Che, in the tunnel after the game, because me and Trish went and shot it. They played against Seattle U, and it was embarrassing, man. It was embarrassing. It was sad. Like, the starting lineups, the looks on the cheerleaders' faces.
Which cheerleaders? UNLV's
cheerleaders.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Like, and just the way that the kids from Seattle kind of took it all in. It was a joke to them. And, like, Shay was like, man, it's a lot of basketball. It's a lot of high school basketball games tonight in this city. And I bet you all of them had a better attendance than this. And I bet you he was right.
Shay would know. I mean, he's as dialed in out here as anybody.
Yeah, man. So it's like an eyesore, man. It's just a slap in the face. And so let me switch sides here. When's the last time the program won?
What do you mean by win? Because, I mean, 500, over 500, 20 games.
Win, man.
Or
win on a consistent basis.
Oh, man, that's...
Win, period. Something.
That was probably...
Contend for some kind of trophy.
Lon Kruger, probably.
Okay.
Kevin's dad, the head coach now's dad.
It's been a while, right? So I'm not going to pile on Las Vegas sports fans about UNLV's attendance.
Good, because they're tired of you doing that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is say that, okay, it's been a couple of years here that I've been covering the team.
Mm-hmm.
This is a better team than we've had since I've been covering them.
Yeah, it's more fun.
Yeah, they're much more athletic, more fun to watch. The scheme and the system that Coach Kruger is trying his best to install is a good scheme and system for this particular team and their skill set. If they adapt and buy in, it'll be some fun basketball to watch. They fight, they hustle, and it's not the same. It's not going to be the same old thing this year. That being said, it's going to take a concerted effort on the team itself, the school, and the city to try to rectify that eyesore that was there the other night.
But okay, so that leads to a bigger issue. It's not just the school. It's not just the city. It's like that for all sports for them. It's not like it's just basketball or just football. It's like that. I stayed 2 years ago. I stayed after to talk to a player after a basketball game because the Lady Rebels were playing. Bro, there was probably 70 people in Thomas and Mack following a male basketball game. Now, all they had to do was stay in their seats.
Right.
70 people. Like, it's like that with football. At a certain time of the year, all of a sudden, attendance just dwindles. It's like that with, UNLV's baseball team is real good. Their volleyball team is really, really good. And fans don't show up.
That's baseball. That's volleyball. It's different. And even with football, they've never had any football success. How did you start this thing off? You started talking about the best college basketball team we've ever seen.
Yeah.
They played at this school. And I get it. That was a long time ago. That's not the point. The point is, this is the flagship for this university. It's not football.
No, it's a basketball school. 100%.
This is a basketball school.
100%.
This school has seen the mountaintop in basketball. Like I said, something's got to be done on every end.
Okay, so what would you do if you were in charge of marketing for UNLV, marketing sports?
Yeah,
because I know that's something that you do. You market.
Yes.
What would you do?
It doesn't look cool.
What doesn't look cool?
The presentation, UNLV's presentation online to kids and young people, it doesn't look cool enough.
Okay.
The relationship between the university and young people in the community, it's like there is none. You know how many young people we know in the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know how we talk to them about sports and about our relationship with them. There is no bridge. Like there is, they don't think UNLV. UNLV is not in their imaginations. And something has to be done about that. And that the case is presentation has got to change. If it's me and the basketball situation is as it is, I'm going to high schools, I'm giving away tickets. I'm going across the board, I'm giving away tickets, I'm packing the lower bowl out, and let's start from there.
Would you sell the upper bowl?
Not this season, no.
What if the lower bowl's full and there's more people that want to come?
Man, pack the place out. Pack the place out. You got to make a sacrifice. You got to make a sacrifice. And if the sacrifice is made, teams got to win. The on-the-court product has to be entertaining if you want people to come back. Even if you want them to come for free. Coming for free ain't going to work if they come 7-8 times in a row and they lose.
Well, you say coming for free because they're giving away 2,500 tickets for free this weekend. Just go to their website and check it out if you're in Vegas.
Okay. So now there's a start. Las Vegas basketball fans, UNLV basketball fans, people in this city who want to see UNLV basketball succeed. There should be at least 2,500 of you.
100%. I mean,
in the stadium,
they have that many at football games, easily. I mean, and people bitch and complain about their football games.
So I mean, like I say, it's a concerted effort on all parties. I think that I know we've been asking the city. UNLV's been asking the city to be patient for umpteen years, right? But
Umpteen. Wow.
Oh well, we got to be patient. Like they ain't gonna be world beaters this year. They're gonna be better than they were the last couple of years. So take the baby steps, come out, support the team, because we can see from the inside how interested in athletics this university is.
Oh, they've this is the most interested in the 6 years I've been covering them.
Yeah.
This is the most engaged the last couple of years across the board with all sports, not just basketball, but football and all the other men's and women's sports.
They are hell bent on winning. They are trying to do whatever they possibly can do to compete and dominate this conference.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to sit here and say that level of determination has been there to do that for the last couple of years, but it absolutely is now. And from us being able to have the relationships that we have on the inside, it's evident.
You brought up at the beginning of this when I asked, what would you do? You said, you got to make it look cool, presentation.
Yeah.
The coolest thing UNLV has done, graphic-wise or anything, that the university has produced themselves was when they put running back Charles Williams, the Chuck Williams, on a throne and put the crown on him. That graphic
that was sick.
And that photo was the coolest thing. And I asked somebody with the school, so what was the difference with this? And they said, I told them not to do what they normally do.
Good.
And I know my exact words to him was, do that more often.
Absolutely.
And I say that with love, because I can sit here and you know is better than anybody how much I love UNLV.
Yeah.
I take losses personally, especially with football. I want this school their athletic programs to be what it was and what it can be. And it's selfish because it's good for business. It's good for you. It's good for me. It's good for franchise. It's good for Trish. It's good for everybody, for Che and everybody else that covers stuff with us and that works with us. And I know the coaches want it. I know that. I mean, the conversations I have with them, they're hell bent on putting together a product that's going to win titles, not just conference titles. Yeah. Long term, we're trying to win natties.
Yeah, for sure.
And they do have to change the outlook. But part of the problem is the fan base. And I'm not going to pile on the fan base when I'll explain. It's the fan base. You either have a real, older crowd,
yeah,
or a younger crowd. That medium group, the people in their mid-20s to let's say mid-30s, early 40s, yeah, they're not there. It's either you were there for Tark and you're in your 60s and 70s and older,
yeah,
or you're a young kid and you don't know about those glory years because you weren't associated with it. And then the school's at fault too, because they don't wrap around what they did back then. Like, why isn't there some type of shark at Thomas and Mack? There has to be a shark somewhere. You have to honor Tark, not just with the statue out front, which he has him sitting down chewing on a towel. It has to be, you have to honor the players that were there appropriately. And you have to honor the traditions. Whether or not you agree with the past, the old way of thinking doesn't work. And people have to stop being lazy and stop just going with what they normally do. Think out the box, have some new, fresh ideas, and embrace the tradition and history of UNLV basketball, specifically for the basketball program. Because once you do that, I think it welcomes everybody back. I think the guys that feel alienated,
yeah,
that have been there, like Larry Johnson and Greg Anthony and Stacey Augmon and Anderson Hunt, stop giving them tickets to sit in general admission. Put them closer to the action.
Spend some camera time on them.
Yes.
You know, it's like it's been generations, man, and a lot of, you know, young kids, young athletes, like reaching back to that for them is kind of like us reaching back to like Jim Brown or something. Like we didn't see him. You know what I'm saying? We know how great he was because of what our parents told us, but we didn't watch him ourselves. So it's like that's like folklore. That's like fantasy stuff, which absolutely is a part of this. But the other part is, think about it. We was young. We was playing football in L.A. Bro, USC wasn't winning championships when we was in high school.
No.
But we wanted to go play ball at USC.
Hell yeah.
Okay, why?
It's USC.
Okay, that's what I mean.
The Coliseum.
This is what I mean. This is the Thomas and Mack. This is the Las Vegas Strip. This is Las Vegas's home university's team who has won a championship, and that championship was the greatest team ever. How do we infuse that into the community to give them some kind of sense of saying, hey, I'm a part of this. This is mine. Like I am Las Vegas. This is Las Vegas. I need to be here supporting this team because what? Right?
Right.
Winning has to have something to do with it, but there's something that goes along with winning that's like awareness within the community that it's not necessarily hitting the mark. And it's like you said with the graphic with Chuck. It's not just about graphics and production, but that's part of what makes something seem cool.
Well, that's what Coach Arroyo does with football.
Exactly.
The uniforms are always chonky. They're always cool. Everybody loves the uniforms.
Exactly.
Style of play. People like the style of play. They like the fact that he's fresh and he's a sneakerhead and he's always got on fresh kicks and the staff is always looking right. Like that stuff goes a long way. It's got to be the same thing. Like I don't know. This is I think where I'm different. I know with basketball, what made that team, that UNLV team back in the day so fresh was like they played with an edge. They played balls to the wall, but they all were like, I don't like all my guys looking alike, but their shoes were all the same.
Yeah.
They all wore the same shoes.
Right.
And I look at the players now and it's something small, but it's like everybody wearing different Nikes.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I get it.
Stuff like that, like for me, it's like that looks lame. Like I don't like that. I don't like guys wearing lime green shoes and your colors are red. Like, bro, like what do you like? It's Christmas time, but that's not. You're not at a Christmas school. Like rock the same schools. You're a Nike. Have the coach lay that out. Have a coach specifically design work with, the equipment people to have everything laid out. The black uniforms that they have, basketball team, all those are fresh.
Yeah.
But the other uniforms, trash. Trash. The Marvin Menzie design uniforms look like straight basura. Like they need.
No, I'm not. I ain't gonna take a dump on them. But they're not my favorite. They're not my favorite. They're not my favorite.
I know people at the school that feel the same way.
Yeah, it's like it's just
go. Take some of the old school ones. Have like one throwback that you wear once every like 4 games to honor that 90s team.
There you go.
And then after those games, you have someone there. You have LJ show up, or you have Augment, or you have Nesby, or Marcus Banks, or Freddie Banks, or Reggie Theus, or whomever. You have one of them, Greg Anthony. You have one of them show up when they're wearing those uniforms, and you honor them at halftime.
Right.
No one wants to see the Rebel Girls and Company every halftime do the same thing. They don't care. They're not there for them. You got like 6 people that's there for them. The rest, like you say Larry Johnson's going to be there at halftime, you're going to pack out Thomas and Mack. He's the best player in school history.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It's worth a try. It's not working right now. And I don't ever want to see that what I saw the other night again.
Bro.
Now, it wasn't at the Thomas and Mack, I guess, because of the rodeos in town. Yeah. It was at Michelob Ultra at Mandalay Bay. But I'm here to tell you, man, there was one fan in the stand who absolutely got in the heads of the Seattle players.
You told me that's what changed the game.
Yeah, I swear it did, man. I'm sitting there.
What was he saying?
He was Yo, he's just going at the coach. He's just heckling. He was doing his job. There was nobody there, so you could just hear him. He was just loud. He was louder than everything. He's louder than the whistles, louder than the squeaks of the feet, the ball bouncing. You could hear all of this stuff easily because there was nowhere close to 600 people in the building. It just wasn't. They are lying. Like, stop. Period. Like 600 people, that would have been wonderful. This was ridiculous, man. It was terrible. And this one dude did his job. He helped the damn team get on it because he was in the Seattle players' head. They could hear him. They could hear him better than they could hear their coach. He was the loudest person next to the announcer.
I want to know who that was. If you guys
know,
hear who it is or you know who it is, get at me.
Good job, my man.
Yes.
You did your thing. You was a disruptive presence in the game the other night. You turned the tide.
Yes.
Give it up to the 12th man.
And that is another thing.
The actual 12th man in the whole arena.
That is another thing that pisses me off. UNLV, when Thomas and Mack, when they're the road team, when the road team is there, they go in the second half, the opposite direction of the student section.
Yeah, why? What is that about?
Why can't that's supposed to be when they're right there so they can heckle the free throw shooters and get in their head?
What is what makes that happen? Whose idea is
I
that?
don't know. I don't know. They reconfigured this the way people said a couple years ago. I don't know, but man, look.
That wasn't cool.
Man, and the student section, there's only like 13 of them that's there.
The student section the other night was the band.
Like that's got to change.
It was the band.
Like I don't want to hear, because the thing we used to hear all the time when football was played at Sam Boyd was Sam Boyd's too far from the school. No one wants to go 20 minutes to Sam Boyd Stadium. And
yeah, all right.
Okay. So now Allegiant Stadium is down the street from the school.
Yep.
Where the hell are you at? Thomas and Mack is on campus. What's your excuse now? Like, it's up to the students. That's how you create an environment. Like, Duke wasn't always good. They were trash before Mike Krzyzewski got there. And then also the Dukies made, the Cameron Crazies.
I mean, the students got finals now, don't they?
Yeah, but it's finals, but it's the weekend. They're not, man, look. I don't want to hear that. Now you're making an excuse.
No, I'm not making no excuse. I'm just saying, like,
a cookie?
I figured when I saw it wasn't no students there, I'm figuring it's finals time. That's probably why. I mean, I could be wrong, but
no, it is finals time. But I mean, most of the finals happen during the day, and most people take their study breaks to go partake in whatever activities they partake in before they go back to You
know better than me, man. I've never been to college. You know what I'm saying?
you seen
total failure. You feel me?
You seen How High?
Have I lived it?
Study,
just wasn't a student.
Go to school high, study high, get high grades.
There it is. There it is, man.
But I mean, speaking of that, like there's a lot of this. This is a big weekend for college football in general, but UNLV we'll talk about specifically. It's official visit weekend. That's when college students from whoever they're recruiting, if it's a high school kid, junior college kid, or somebody in the transfer portal, if they're in town, like they're being recruited, this is the first weekend they get a chance to see what UNLV is about from the Fertitta Football Complex, $36 million home of UNLV football. That's football only. Where basically, if you're a player, you're there when you're not in class or doing whatever else you're doing. You get a chance to go check out Allegiant Stadium and get a chance to see Las Vegas for what it is. It's a really big weekend for him.
Yeah. He's always excited. It's always an exciting time when you get to do your visits. And, a lot of times you'll go, kid will have an idea about the school he's going to see. Right. He'll get there and he gets completely wild over his idea. And there are times when he gets there and it's like, he thought it was one thing and it's like, nah, this ain't what it is. Right?
For real.
No, I feel like UNLV has so much more to offer in these last couple of years than they had before that, especially on the football side of things. And they got a guy that knows how to seal the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And when you give that type of person these kinds of resources, pretty soon it's going to be expected that he would seal the deal.
Right.
And, under tremendous, it's been a hell of a couple of years. Like when we sat there and you did that interview with him, just to get Arroyo's take on just the things that he's been through in his tenure here that we aren't able to see, because of COVID, all the restrictions on travel and everything else. Like to be able to recruit in a time like this, it's wow. It's a testament to be able to do it successfully, and to have high classes in the last couple of years in the Mountain West, irregardless of all these obstacles. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. And this time, the floodgates are open. Can pretty much move around, can pretty much, do what he needs to do. So
yeah,
I'm expecting him to land some dogs coming in here.
It's all about talent acquisition.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the big thing is the transfer portal. That's the game changer for all of college athletics.
Okay, so do this. For myself and for probably the majority of our listeners and the majority of the people who follow college football, give us a true explanation in layman's terms of what the portal is, what are the limitations of the portal, what are the boundaries, when does it start, when does it end? Like, it's literally the thing in college football right now. Explain it to us, please, Mr. Joe Arrigo of Franchise Sports Media.
The transfer portal is a player's one opportunity to leave whatever school they're at and go to another school without having to sit out a year and can play immediately, no matter the conference, no matter anything. The thing about the transfer portal is there really isn't any rules and regulations. So, for instance, UNLV had a player named Jacoby Windman. Jacoby was, up until this year, UNLV's arguably their best player on the team. Linebacker, just moved from defensive end to linebacker. And Kobe probably would have been the preseason favorite for conference defensive player of the year next year. But surprising to everybody, Jacoby hit the transfer portal, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Now, you would think that there were schools already lined up hitting him up. And for Jacoby, there may have been. He got a bunch of offers, Penn State, Texas, Michigan State, where he ended up committing to. So he went to a Power 5. He did better than UNLV. Mm-hmm. But there's other players that have hit the portal, not just at UNLV, but everywhere else, that don't have any assurances of going to college. They're basically gambling on themselves because the school, once you hit the portal, they don't have to take you back. So you lose your scholarship essentially.
Aha, the catch.
So you better have somewhere lined up or be a guy that you know is going to have schools banging down your door. Otherwise, you're taking a huge chance and a huge risk that you may not get a college education. You could end up, I call it the JCD, and you could end up at a junior college getting that degree, or at a junior college, or not even playing football anywhere because you can't, let's just talk. Okay, I'll use UNLV as an example. Let's say you're a player at UNLV and you have not gotten on the field the last 3 years for whatever reasons. Either you're just.
So you got how many years of eligibility left? 2 or 1?
Two or 3, depending on
2
the
or
COVID
3.
year.
Okay.
Yeah, because of COVID year.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you come in and you redshirt your freshman year.
Yeah.
Then COVID comes and you still don't get on the field, but the transfer portal opens up. So now you say you got 4 years because you didn't play.
Right.
You were a marginal talent, but UNLV thought enough of you that they thought they could develop you and make you into a player. But you hit the portal.
Now,
what school is going to offer you?
So
you don't have no tape at UNLV.
So what makes a kid make that decision without having a school or some idea that there's a better situation for them?
You know, I would say ego. They see other people doing it, and kids are followers nowadays.
But the other people that are doing it have game film, right?
Some of them.
They bring something.
And some of them were higher rated recruits that still have a little name.
Okay.
But that's the thing. And that's one of the things I'm critical of my colleagues. And I'm guilty of it too. Is you praise the kids that hit the portal. And there's like 24/7 now has a portal ranking system where you can basically your rank, you almost like the recruiting rankings where you finish in the portal. You're kind of
all portal players.
Yeah, for colleges. So let's say UNLV adds 7 portal players because now you're allowed to have 7 players from the portal come to your school without them counting against your recruiting class as scholarships. So you have your 25 scholarships plus an additional 7 for the portal. If you go over that 7, then it counts against those scholarships.
Got it.
So let's say the UNLV adds 7 players and they rank UNLV could be ranking in the top 2 or 3. And let's say USC loses 13 players and adds 4 or 5, but they're ranked lower. But out of those 13 that left, how many of them went somewhere?
Right.
So you're glorifying leaving, but yet
it's not telling the full story.
Exactly. You're looking at just from a rose-colored glass.
Yeah.
But the portal is a good thing because it allows the players to have some type of freedom, just like coaches do.
Yeah, that's what I took from it when it all began. I felt like it was completely unfair to make a kid sit out because they wanted to make a switch to a different program when you didn't make coaches do the same thing. And coaches make switches all the time. Not only that, a lot of these kids are at the program that they're at because of that particular coach. Mm-hmm. That coach can get that kid there and head for the hills or head for higher pastures. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
And the kid is just, they're stuck. If the kid wants to even go with the coach, he still had to sit out.
Well, that's the thing. Look at like University of Nevada, Reno, UNR. UNR, their coach left to go to Colorado State, which is in the same conference. The Mountain West Conference is UNR and UNLV. But he was making $650,000. He's making $1.5 million now, 1.55. So he made $900,000 more, and
whole stack on it.
Brought 8 staff members with him.
Wow,
depleted UNR. Right,
Smashed
UNR,
him.
as of the recording of the show on Friday morning, has lost 17 players to portal, decommit, or opting out of the rest of the season because they're going league.
Wow,
that roster is depleted.
Decimation.
Who's going to want to go there?
Whew. That's tough.
That's the negative side of it.
Yeah. Then you got the positive side of it right down in good old Southern California.
Yeah, USC. You got Lincoln Riley, who's everybody wants to go to USC now. It's the hot ticket in college football.
That quick.
Just off him.
That quick.
And he still doesn't name the rest of his staff.
Crazy.
I'm going to tell you another school, and you're going to think I'm crazy, but another school that's going to be very active in the portal, it's going to be a hot name.
Notre Dame?
No.
Who?
I'll give you 2 more guesses.
Miami.
But that's not who I'm thinking of, but that could be if they get their facilities right. But I know for this cycle.
I don't know.
Right here, UNLV.
You think so?
No, I know so.
Joe knows, ladies and gents. You hear him, right? He say you know.
Players see in the stadium. They see the uniforms. They see the Fertitta football complex. This has got a little buzz in the recruiting world in terms of if you're a guy that's played against UNLV or seen the stadium in some capacity, if you played in the stadium, let's say, in a conference championship game or played against UNLV here, this is a hot ticket. People want to come here.
Was this the last of Tony's guys?
No.
Does Tony have any more guys?
Yeah,
left?
there's still one maybe 2 more cycles of Coach Sanchez's guys.
Okay.
But you look at it, a lot of those guys played. I mean, the starting center, Leaf,
Yeah.
LJ's was a Tony guy. I mean, Chuck, obviously.
So how many? Since you know, tell us. Come on, let's get to the damn nitty gritty.
Okay.
How many games we gonna win next year?
Man, look,
Come on, man. Joe knows. How many damn games are we going to win next year? Because we on the sidelines and we get to celebrating and feeling happy about 2 games.
I'll say this.
But that's not us.
I'll say this.
We don't like 2 games.
No.
2 games is terrible.
I'll say this.
You know it and I know it.
But
we running around the whole city like we won a damn Super Bowl after they won the second game.
Hey.
I don't want to be comfortable in that space, bro.
And nobody does. I don't think Coach Arroyo does. Look, I'll say this. Mark this down. 35 minutes and 45 seconds into the show. UNLV will be in a bowl next year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's more than 6 wins.
All right. Y'all hear him. Remember this. Hold him to the fire. He knows. Joe knows. He's all up in the mix, all up in the business. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. Now, I want to get in your business a little bit. Let's talk about something way off of sports, but it does affect sports too, because I'm starting to learn more about it as it goes on. Let's talk about NFTs.
Yeah. As of right now, it's looking like the way forward. I've been doing a lot of research on what it is. First of all, NFT is a non-fungible token. That's what that means. And for the music industry, or for musicians more so than artists and digital artists, the boundaries for how you can use these are limitless.
Okay.
So the problem with selling music digitally is subscription-based services they have the biggest music fan base right now. So
right. I spend money on Spotify and Apple Music every month.
Right. But for that $10 or $15 or whatever your subscription is, you have huge access to a huge library of music. Within that access, within those streams, the people who created that music, the writers, the producers, the singers, all of them have to be paid out of your $10 a month. Right?
Okay.
And every year, at the end of the year, Spotify, Apple, a lot of these other services release to the artists promotional materials that basically slap the songwriters in the face.
Whoa. Okay, what type of promotional materials and how is it a slap in the face?
It gives you your numbers. How many millions of people have streamed your music over the past 12 months?
Okay.
And you see these numbers, and these numbers look great. And when you post them on your social media, it looks like, it just makes the people say, oh, wow, you did so great. You got so many millions of streams. What they don't see is that as a songwriter, you see your checks for these streams. And
is it pennies on a dollar?
Less than that.
What?
Yeah.
How do you get less than a penny?
That's my point. That's my point. You're going to get like 3 streams will make you a penny. It's basically the way it goes. So a person that gets 1 million streams on something is like $3,000, $4,000, depending on what type of deal that they have. And for an artist who didn't write the song, a stream is nothing, right? So NFTs as a tool for a musician to sell music, there's no boundaries on what you can stamp into whatever the file is. So let's say the file is a song with some artwork on it, right? Mm-hmm. And you're selling this on blockchain, and it's being traded by using cryptocurrency. Well, within these files, you can stamp anything. You can stamp a link. You can stamp a code, a password, to pretty much anything.
Can you stamp it as even if you already stamped it before?
Well, it depends on how you want to release it. So Once again, there's an artist space for actual digital artists who make digital versions of like a painting, right? Their system would not be the system that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Right? What I'm talking about is for a musician, and specifically for a musician with a catalog. So if I'm looking at a person, let's just say a person who's been in the music industry for a while and has attained some tangible things, right?
Okay.
So when you walk into like a Hard Rock hotel or a Hard Rock restaurant and you see all of this memorabilia.
They see like Pac's clothes he wore.
Exactly.
Right.
A person who's been in the music industry for 20, 30 years, 15 years, they've accumulated a lot of that stuff, right? It's probably hanging in the attic somewhere.
Plaques and stuff.
All of that.
Okay.
You can stamp ownership into any of that kind of stuff into an NFT file.
So you're saying
A person can literally buy a file and get a plaque sent to their house signed by an artist. And it's the only one of those plaques.
I could buy a TQ plaque.
Basically.
Have you signed it and send it?
Yeah. Yeah. I got a lot of them. So they'll be going up. So the whole point is to create a certain amount of value for a fan or a person who is into trading this stuff, right? And for the artist, naturally the price will be a premium, right? I'm not gonna release something for $1.29 that has all of this attached to it.
Right.
And then the thing with an NFT is it can be sold again. And my fee from the sale is stamped into the file. Nobody can stop me.
So no matter what you get, what
always going to get my percentage of what the sale is. And that price goes up based on who on blockchain is interested in it. So you have certain, for a person like myself, I got fans all over the place, all different kinds and different kinds of industries. They some of them they just into what they're into. And some vinyl of some remix that I did in Sweden in 1999, and it's like the only copy of it and I can sign it or whatever else. That's some value to them. And they take it and basically on blockchain say, look what I got. And then the next person comes up and say, well, let me buy that. And you're like, nah, I'm not letting you buy it. Well, let me raise the price. Well, let me raise the price. Well, let me raise the price. At some point, make an offer you can't refuse.
Everybody's got a price.
Yeah, and you sell it. So, it's a better way from the way that I'm looking at it through all my research to be able to give my fans what they want, which is a lot more music. Okay, a lot more music costs to make. Right. Even aside from making a profit off of the sale of it, it costs to make it. So I'm going to use my idea is to use NFTs as kind of a Kickstarter, a crowdfunder for being able to, release more music to my fan base, and we'll see what happens. I will say this: of all the options out there now, this is the best way to get the value that you deserve as a music creator. And the great thing about it is that, at least in the marketplace that I'm using, you can only make one of each. So it's a premium. So you look at the amount of people in the world who are into music and the different financial levels or that they may be in. It's a piece of art. Some people pay hundreds of $1,000s for something that they want to hang on the wall at their house. So you look at this the same way.
So from a fan perspective, this is something that becomes and can be very personalized.
Oh, absolutely. Completely personalized. I mean, completely personalized. When it comes down to me, like I know the great majority of the fans that buy stuff from me. Like I've had conversations with them.
Yeah.
Most of them. Like, and it's a lot of them. But I can absolutely be speaking to somebody on social media and we've met before, right? So for a person like that can kind of vouch for my personality or vouch for that kind of relationship for me, or with me, some of it is just, wow, I would love to have that and be able to take pictures and say, boom, I'm the only person that has that. And then the great thing about it is that I don't give away ownership. I split ownership with you. So other people could come in as an investment and say, hey, well, let's go into business and make a project full of these and let's sell it together. And that literally puts you in business with one of your favorite artists.
That's crazy. And it just seems like this is the future, and it's a way that artists can actually make money, because it sounds like streaming just became the new age version of what you got when you were an artist, when you signed with a label.
It's worse. It's absolutely worse, because the tangible thing is gone. What tantalized me when I signed to a label was like, okay, you're going to give me these boxes of CDs. Well, I want to sell them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, okay, you want me to pass out CDs or whatever, but like, I got relationships out here with these stores, and you charging them one price, I could charge them less than that. So I need as many of these CDs as I can get. So that you know, I'm always thinking from the hustle space. But then when that tangible thing turned into a file that's somewhere up in the cloud, it took the control out of our hands. So now this, I feel, puts a lot of that control back into our hands.
Right.
And it's about having leverage. Like, I'm not prescribing this to a new artist I'm not prescribing this to anybody. But for my particular situation, and a lot of other cats that came out around the time when I did, who still have viable fan bases, this is a way for us to continue to make music and it actually be profitable for us. So, you know, who knows how long it's gonna last. It's a little daunting to understand. So it takes some research if you're not in this space.
Right.
But, you know, cryptocurrency, man, I would say to anybody, throw a couple of dollars in there and just see what happens. Like, it doesn't make sense to like miss a wave that you can catch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just like anything else. It's going to be a gamble. Like, we might drop a bunch of these NFTs and nothing happens. Who knows? But to continuously have millions of people listening to your music every year and you're receiving crumbs for it, something got to give.
And it just makes me think of a new artist. If a new artist comes out, they could drop an NFT for all their stuff, like those Island Boy guys, right?
Yeah. I mean,
people are somebody gonna drop some serious coin, and they're lame, but I mean,
to somebody they're not.
Exactly. That's my
what
point. Yeah.
And like for a person like me, or for I've literally tried to put shows together in different cities around the world, and you know, it didn't necessarily work out. They don't want to pay what you know, it's not lucrative for either party. Right. And I just hit my fans up like, yo, I'm coming anyway. Meet me at such and such, and let's just party and drink together.
Let's get wasted.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's gone over well. And it's like it wasn't no skin off my back. Like, these people have spent thousands of dollars with me over the time of my career. So it's nothing for me to just show up in Scotland or damn Paris somewhere and just go have a drinking night with my fans. Yeah. You think I can't snap that into an NFT? Buy this NFT, and we going to the Mount Westmore concert. I'm buying the tickets, you and me. What? Who ain't going for that?
For real. For real.
Like, it's so much that can be done in this space. So 2022 is when I'm gonna try it. I got a lot of them lined up now. Couple of joints, and the best thing about this is, let's say one of them catches fire, man, you can release it the regular way. It does nothing but drive up the value.
That's dope.
It is. We'll see what happens. It's exciting. I'll say that much. Yeah. You never know what's gonna transpire when it's all said and done, but it's worth a try, and it's better than the alternative. The alternative ain't working. No, it's too many artists they put their heart and soul into creating these pieces, man. And these gifts that we've been given to make music, they wasn't given to us for us. They were given to us for other people. And there's just, the gatekeepers have a they got the clank on this thing, and we got to figure out a way to get it back. And this looks like a good option.
It's the way.
Let's try it. As much of us as possible should be trying it at least.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I got some education on NFTs. I like as much as I'm around you, I'm like, all right, NFTs. I have one. I have a card somebody gave me, a Devontae Adams card that has a game jersey on it. It's a game jersey or whatever.
Wow.
I think it's signed. I don't know. I have it in my bag. And but he was like, yeah, it's an NFT. And I'm like, what the hell is an NFT?
Hold on to it.
Oh, I don't let that stuff go.
Go.
That's memorabilia. I like that.
There you go. And that's another thing about this. Like, this is the long game. Cryptocurrency is the long game. Anything on blockchain is the long game. It's very possible to pop off overnight, but it's much more probable that things will grow over time. So just like anything else, man, it's not for sure. We can sit here and talk about how great it is, but we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? I will say this going out, it'll probably be pretty active around my site New Year's Eve.
Okay, so if you're a TQ fan, New Year's Eve, be ready.
Pay attention. Yo, shouts out to the UK, man.
Yes.
Thank y'all for listening. Got some reports that, we got some good listeners coming in over there. And I want to thank y'all. I'm sure that's a lot of TQ fans and y'all listening to stuff you probably don't have a clue about.
And same thing with Denmark.
Yeah.
Denmark too. They gave us a lot of love.
Yeah. So, man, thank y'all for listening. Going into the new year, we'll try to be, more inclusive with our subjects, and we'll do some specials with the podcast that aren't necessarily based on sports. At the end of the day, though, this is the Franchise Podcast, and this is about Las Vegas sports news. So,
and we squeeze some TQ stuff in there too.
Every week, guaranteed. Yeah.
Well, folks, that's it for this week. We are dipping out of here. You guys have a safe weekend. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back again next week, giving you more holiday sports flavor from Vegas.
Yeah.
So for TQ, I'm Joe Arrigo. Thank you for joining us, and we'll check you next week. Don't drink and drive.
Straight to the pool.